So all the way from behind the enemy lines of California, I managed to get this thing right here. This is the Juggernaut Tactical JT-15, and it just runs like a beast. All right, well, welcome back, everybody. And yes, I have big love for my people in California. Most of my whole dad's side of the family is from there. Spent a lot of time there as a kid, but you guys got some crazy laws going on right now. This is a new rifle to me, and many of you may not have heard of that. Let's go ahead and start off with the range performance first, because that's where the rubber meets the road. Now, I ran a mix of 55 grain and 62 grain NATO ammunition in here just to see how this thing was gonna react, having never tested these actual rifles before. I will say all 500 plus rounds that I got through this thing ran like a top. Didn't have a single problem out there. No failure to feeds, no failure to extract, no stovepipe, nothing. Ran like an absolute champ, and it felt really good while doing it. Now, I did test also a variety of magazines on here, from P-mags, aluminum mags, Lancer mags, Mission First mags, Hex mags, just because I wanted to check function and ensure that everything was actually gonna work, since I've never experienced this brand before, and there are so many different mags, sometimes they do not always work. Now, I did not give this thing any breaks. I had 20 loaded mags with me, and I just went through them and went to work until I had to put my gloves on because I got this thing that hot. Now, the reason I have to do that is it's summertime here in Arizona. What that means is the camera shuts down in about 10 to 15 minutes because it overheats. So I've got a limited amount of time, and then I literally have to stick the camera in a cooler of ice packs to get it cooled down so I can start filming again. So overall, the functionality was perfect. When it comes to the gassing of this rifle, it seems to be right at that midpoint. Most of the ejection on that 62 grain stuff was directly out the side, which isn't overgassed, it's not undergassed. It's kind of right there to where you're gonna be able to run any ammunition, even bad stuff. I would say you could probably get away with running an H1 on this and be absolutely perfect as far as that buffer system goes. All of the controls worked great, smooth, positive operation and lock-in on the safety and all the rest of the stuff you would expect. It does have a mil-spec style trigger. It did get me stuttering a little bit because I am spoiled with my blackout defense style triggers, but overall, not bad. The whole feel of this thing, from the parts and the cycle of operations, was just absolutely great out there. The accuracy wise, because I know people love to talk about that, and this is what I always say when it comes to accuracy. Most well-built modern rifles like this are going to be as accurate as you, the end user. And of course, your optics, right? So if you're not accurate, it's not going to be accurate. And if you are accurate, it's most likely going to do everything you're going to want a standard AR to do. There are a couple of things that I would like to see changed on this. Once we get into the specs, we're going to talk about those. But if you are not, consider subscribing to the channel. If you find benefit or value or humor or anything in these videos and you like getting information from an unbiased source on things you might be interested in, hit that subscribe button. It's gonna do a couple things. One, it's gonna make sure you don't miss any content. If you wanna turn the notification on, you'll get notified every time a video comes out. But two, it's also going to push the video to other people, some of which may never have seen gun content. We might turn some of those in our favor, and that's only helpful for all of us. Now let's go ahead and get into the specs on this thing and talk about what it comes with, and we're gonna go from the butt stock to the business end of this thing, starting off with that Mission First tactical stock on there. Furniture's furniture. Some people love it, some people don't. It's all about you. You're gonna get a properly staked castle nut in one place on that extension tube back there. Gonna be a 6 position. You'll have a carbine buffer and standard carbine spring in there. You're gonna get a Juggernaut branded finger groove grip, which is rubber. It's actually made by Hogue. Solid stuff there. You'll get an ambidextrous charging handle, which is made by Juggernaut. You'll get a CMMG mil-spec trigger, and I'm almost sure it's just a CMMG lower parts kit in there as well. You get an ambi bolt release. You're gonna get the US flag on the side of this thing and on the dust cover with saying USA. So this thing has so much America, you have to love it. The lower receiver will have an integral trigger guard, a flared magwell, which I'm always a huge fan of. I think many of you know that. You get a nice Juggernaut rail with Mlok all over it, a pick rail all the way across the top, and then on all 4 sides out on the front, so you can pretty much put whatever you want on this thing. And sticking out front there past that rail, you will see that big gnarly Juggernaut brakes. Now let's get up in them guts, talk about the bolt and carrier. It is nickel boron coated, every piece of it super easy to clean, properly staked gas key on there, magnetic particle inspected, high pressure tested. This is a no-fail kind of bolt that you can count on. You'll get a mid-length gas system, which is my personal favorite. The barrel is going to be 16 inches with heavy flutes in it to keep that weight down. This is a very nice setup. Keep weight and heat dispersion a little bit better than your average barrel. It is 416R stainless, have a 1-in-8 twist rate with M4 feed ramps. Now, overall, the machine work on this thing is perfect from top to bottom, from front to back. They did a great job. And I will say the cycle of this thing is absolutely smooth as it gets. So from the first pull of the charging handle all the way through every round I have fired in it, it's epic smooth. The only thing that is smoother than this in my collection is my SLR build. I don't know what it is about SLR or Juggernaut that they have done, but the thing just glides like it's melted butter in there and not metal. And when it comes to that weight, this thing is only coming in at 6 pounds and 1 ounce. Now that is pretty solid for a 16-inch mid-length system on an AR. Now for those of you that need all the specs, I've got something for you. All right, let's talk quickly about how I have this thing outfitted. Starting up front there, you will see I have the Streamlight ProTac 2.0. I love Streamlight. They are the best bang for the buck in value and durability and lifespan you're gonna get out of a light, but sheath thick. This one is a thicker light than the original ProTac, but they come complete. You get your pressure pad, everything to lock it on your rail. It's got a section to come on there. I love running my Arasaka Mlok inline mounts because it just tucks it in there nicely. But this one is dual activation, so it's either pressure pad or you have an activation button on the back as well should your pad ever break or fail, or you just wanna run it off of that, you can do that. Coming up for the optic, I've got that SIG Romeo 4S. It's gray, it matches this, and I have to say, you guys in the audience were right about the SIG optics. I had stayed away from them for some time, but I've got the 5S and then I've got this 4 now, and I'm just impressed, especially for the price point. It is sitting on that big old mount right there, which is new from my friends over at Blackout Defense. That is their 223. They have a 193, and I think they have a 153 as well. New product from them, awesome. I love that stuff, and that's pretty simple, but that's just how I like to run them when I'm testing them because I like everything to be in the same place. And the last little piece up there is gonna be that little hand stop or finger grip right there from JMac Customs. Now, I pretty much love everything JMac does. They do an amazing job with everything they make. They seem to be just the right size, and they're just perfect to grab onto and just be enough and not too much and big and overly bulky. So that's how I like to rig them. That's how I like to run them for the test. And of course, I'll have all that stuff listed at the parts list so you can read up on it all yourself and of course, pick anything up if you want. Let's go and talk about what this thing comes with. It will come with your standard paperwork. It's gonna come with a lock. It's gonna come with 2 mags. I think they were hex mags off the top of my head, but I have them all thrown on a pile, so I don't remember. And it's gonna come with a very nice Savior Equipment double rifle bag. It's one of my favorites. That's one I carry to the range. You've seen a ton of videos of the gray one. Very cool there. Now let's talk about, is there anything I would change and what's the price point on this thing? Well, let's talk about the 2 things that I would change. The first one is going to be that actual grip right there. So it's more of an A2 angle. It's really arced back and that just doesn't work for my wrist. I've banged my wrists up, my hands up. I've had surgery on them. I've broken them. So I like a more neutral grip. Although a lot of people really do like these rubber overmolded style of grips. The really only other thing that I can think of, I'd really like to have an ambi safety on there. Ambi bolt release going on here. I'd like to have an ambi safety. I think that would just be one little thing that would make me like it just a little bit more. And I know that's kind of a lot to ask. So as far as the price point goes, this rifle, they do have different options for multiple different Cerakote patterns. Some of them are pretty cool camo, some other stuff. Or you can get your just basic black. So if you get the basic black, you're looking at $14.95. So at the end of the day, let's just call it 1,500 bucks, right? Because we're pretty much there. Overall, not bad for what you are getting. And the way I think about it is this is another very solid offering out on the market, which is good for all of us because it drives quality up, innovation up, and prices usually down or keeps them level the more competition there is out in the market. So I think it's solid. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you get subbed up. Check out the swag over at TriStar Trading. They make all the shirts like this one and for my channel. If you want to pick any of that stuff up. And of course, if you want to support me, you can check out the Patreon. Huge thanks to all of my Patreon supporters. You guys make so much of what happens here on the channel worth it. Keep doing it out on the range. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you all on the next one.